Now behind my back, won't be long till you share it in the group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth. That's though how it all turned out. When you try to use my name for clout, keep on going, give me something you can talk about.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing this fine Thursday, February 12th? I'm doing good. All things considered, I had a really long day. I was filming for my Epstein Files series on my other channel. I also was catching up with some other cases besides Nancy nonstop Guthrie, but I am here for my at least daily check-in. Yes, I am. And I have some things to talk about. We have some things to actually talk about today. But just, the TLDR of it all is basically nothing new. Okay. So, I mean, there is some new stuff, but nothing like, they didn't arrest anybody or find Nancy or anything like that. And I spent quite a few hours today keeping up with the daily line items. So without further ado, let's start with what I believe is the most recent news. And that is the FBI has increased the ransom, sorry, not the ransom. That's on my mind because it was a ransom thing or whatever. What's it called? Reward. The FBI has increased its reward, and they seem really confident about this Ozark backpack. I'm not seeing it. Okay, but we'll talk about it. It is the FBI. I mean, I'm just little old me with the contacts lens prescription. I mean, I can't even hardly see. Shout out to the cousins in the chat. Love you, mean it. Shout out from an Alabama cousin. Thank you so much, Jay Elizabeth. Oh yeah, for the $9.99 super chat. And of course, I must. It's obligatory. Tiger bait. Shout out to the Alabama cousins. Actually, Alabama. This is the second time Alabama's coming across my desk today because guess what? They got some Alabama agents. The good old boys. They got them out there. They got the good old boys out there on the Nancy Guthrie investigation. We're going to talk about that. Came across you during the Diddy days and been subscribed for ever since. Thank you. Wanted to say your aura is a whole vibe. And I'm also 1000% jealous of your eyebrows. I never could get into the bushy eyebrow thing. Like the boy brow thing. But truth be told, my eyebrows naturally are pretty thin. So I just embrace that. I do get them, waxed. Like every other time I get my nails done, I get my eyebrows waxed. I just get them done at the nail shop. I am on Nail Shop Eyebrows. There's a European wax center right next to my nail shop too. And I have been there before, but it's like $20, $22 or something. It's like, for what? And they kind of leave them thicker. I feel like my nail lady, she's like a little older. She's grandma age. I think she gets it. She the girlies that get it with the eyebrows. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for the $9.99 and thank you for sticking around. Shout out to the Alabama cousins. Shout out to the Alabama cousins and all the rest of the cousins. Okay. Phew, not too late. Yep. We're just getting started here. So this is the new news. This is the new release from the FBI. Let's see what they have to say. Today, the FBI is increasing its reward up to $100,000 for information leading to the location of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance. Anyone involved. Okay. New identifying details about the suspect in the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie have been confirmed. Okay. New identifying details have been confirmed. And I think they did it in that tent. Put a one in the chat if you saw the tent today. Put a one in the chat if you know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the tent. I think they were doing some height testing in the tent. I have some pictures. We're going to go over it. Make sure you have your beverage, your snack. We're going to be here a while tonight again, as usual. I want to make sure that I'm going over all the pertinent information that happened today in the Nancy Guthrie case, so it's all here and it's all accounted for. And how many line items do I have today? I have 37 or 38 line items. I had a little ADHD moment and I forgot what the link that I had copied was for. And I didn't know. I just didn't feel like putting it in I've been trying to be more organized with my line items. I'm sure there's still going to be room and area for opportunity, but I'm doing my best. Okay. So I do have like almost 40 things on the line items today, and that's not even counting all the live updates that we have to catch up on from the whole day. This is my first Nancy Guthrie video today. Okay. Like the other day went live 3 times on Nancy Guthrie, but I feel like they had more updates than like coming in all day and stuff. It was like big updates. Okay, so first paragraph, they have raised the amount from 50,000 to 100,000. Now, this isn't the first time they raised that amount. Y'all remember the first time they raised it? It was only $2,500. It was only $2,500. I have a new theory too. I'm starting to have a new theory. It's about a conservatorship. So we'll get to that too. All of these things will be revealed. Okay. New identifying details can be confirmed after a forensic analysis of the doorbell camera footage by the FBI's Operational Technology Division. I tell you what, the internet sleuths did it in about 15 minutes, what it took the FBI to do in 2 days. Remember that one guy I said if he had to specifically confirm, put a 2 in the chat if you remember me talking specifically about the people who were predicting his height between 5'9" and 5'11". This one guy said if he had to pin it down on his guess, this was the day before yesterday or prior. I mean, it was a long time. It was the day that it came out, the day the footage came out. He said it's 5'9" to 5'11", but if I had to choose a height, it would be 5'9". It ended up being 5'9" or 5'10". Okay, so look, the suspect is described. Okay, so this is the FBI official identifying details. What are they calling it? Yes, identifying details, official identifying details, stuff that we all saw with our eyes just like 3 days ago or whatever, 2 days ago. But I'm glad they have it out here. The suspect is described as male. Somebody said hips don't lie, and I agree. But anyway, male, approximately 5. Like, I don't believe I don't agree with any of this. I'm starting to wonder, like, am I actually living in the same world with everyone else? Like, I can't get over this backpack. It's just, in what world? I don't. Okay. Anyway. All right. I know. I'm getting ahead of myself. We hope this. Excuse me. The suspect is described as a male, approximately 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build. In the video, he's wearing a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker backpack. Apparently, according to the FBI. We hope this updated description will help concentrate the public tips we are receiving. They're getting too much tips. They had to narrow it down here. Since February, since February 1st, 2026, the FBI has collected over 13,000 tips from the public, and that's just the FBI. That's not the Pima County Sheriff and the rest of them. Every tip is reviewed for credibility, relevance, and information that can be acted upon by law enforcement. Threat intake examiners at National Threat Operations Center and FBI personnel are supporting a 24-hour command post in which dozens of agents and investigators are assigned leads and tips to action each shift. Media outlets should direct tips they receive to the FBI. So media outlets are getting tips, and they're saying if you're a media outlet and you're getting a tip, send it to us, the FBI. Don't just report on it. Additionally, we do not comment on tips and information we receive regarding ongoing investigations. And I do have just one comment here. They were trying to tell us yesterday that this alleged, or yesterday and the day before, that this alleged kidnapper, assailant, the guy they picked up on the camera, they were trying to tell me yesterday that guy was an amateur. They were telling me the last 2 days in a row that guy was an amateur. So if he's such a freaking amateur, why is it we're on day 12 of looking for an 84-year-old grandmother who reportedly can't even walk without a cane, who went missing at the height of the surveillance state in my lifetime, and we need dozens of FBI agents 24 hours around the clock? We're almost 2 full weeks into this investigation, and it was amateur? Well, I'm kind of afraid to think about what y'all would do if it was a professional. It's giving I don't feel safe. Put a 2 in the chat if you agree. Thanks so much, Jenny, for the $1.99 super chat. Check out Ozark Trail Jumper 14-day pack. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, I see. You sent another one in. So thank you. Sorry, Juniper. Okay, check out Ozark Trail Juniper 14-day pack. Okay, I will. But okay, let me. Oh, also, if y'all have any tips, turn them into the FBI. Okay. There's a few reasons I don't think this is the backpack. The FBI and Harvey Levin and everybody else keeps reporting on it. So now I'm just like, okay, do y'all know that? Do y'all know that perception study? I'm about to show it to y'all. Where it's like, which line is longer? The Ash conformity experiment. Y'all ever seen this before? Put a 3 in the chat if you saw this before.
But an experiment is not a public opinion poll. It examines behavior under the pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Asch reveals.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines.
Let me slow down this part so y'all can get the rules of the... Okay, so this was a study they did back in the, I don't know, it looks like 70s.
Lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right.
Here's the test, okay? This is what you have to do for your $5. Look at the line standing by itself over here on the left. Now look at all the lines on the right. Line number 1, line number 2, line number 3. This has to do with this, I promise. Line number 1, number 2, number 3. Don't type it in the chat. Don't say in the chat. Just look at it yourself. What is the longest line? Or which line is longer than the one on the left? Okay. Don't type it in the chat or anything, because that's the whole point. This is like a, can you believe your own self versus once other people start weighing in.
Is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this
I went
order.
back 10 seconds so you can hear him say the full
There are
rule.
several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order.
Oh, excuse me. I misgave the prompt. It was equal. Which one's equal? Which one's equal to it in length? Equal. It's been reduplicated where they say which one's longer, which one's shorter. So I just didn't remember the
original. The real subject, the 5th person with the white t-shirt. Okay. The others are confederates of the...
Look at the line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length.
Which one's equal?
We'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the 5th person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates.
Everybody else is a plant. Everyone else is a plant. Okay, this is what a plant is. This one right here is the only one that's for real. He's the Joe Schmo in the Joe Schmo show. Put a 5 in the chat. We're not doing 1s, 2s, 3s right now. Put a 5 in the chat if you remember the Joe Schmo show, where they like had this one reality show, like guy living in a house. Everyone else on the show was an actor and in on it. That's basically this, but they called it a scientific experiment. This guy, number 5, he's the only one that's not a plant. The rest of them are fitting a lie.
And told to give wrong answers on some of the trial. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3.
Which one's equal?
3.
But on the 3rd trial, something happens.
That's not equal in length.
2, 2, 2.
Okay, here's the real guy.
2.
He
the
lied.
Subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
Let's see if it happens again.
Along with the group on 37% of the critical trials.
Subjects.
He found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
1.
They must be right. There are 4 of them and 1 of me.
1.
This subject's yielding is based on a distortion of his judgment. He genuinely believes that the group is correct.
You see this?
1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2.
I know they're wrong, but why should I make waves?
2.
He
In
knew
this
they
case,
were
the subject
wrong.
knows he is right, but goes along to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with the group. Here, the distortion is at the level of his response.
2, 2, 2.
So what the guy is saying, the narrator, y'all can go watch that video if you want. What the narrator is saying is it's different reasons. A lot of people are going along with this. They see it, but what they see before their very eyes is not true, but they go along with it. The first guy actually had a distortion of perception. He actually started to see, like hallucinate. like he started to see, like he believed, oh, they must be right. Yeah, it is. The second guy, he knew what he was looking at, and he knew that wasn't equal, but he didn't want to cause waves. He said he didn't want to make waves. Like, why rock the boat? That's how I feel with this freaking backpack. I'm like, okay, this is not the same backpack. Please, can we stop playing? Can we please stop playing? The line is not the same length game right now. This isn't the same freaking backpack. Why are they putting this out like this? This ain't the same backpack. It's just, it's just not. The colors don't add up. The materials don't add up. And if it's supposedly another type or another one or another kind, then get that one, because it's this colors. This isn't the backpack he had on. Look at this. This is something either light in color or reflective. There's a lighter color stitching on this X, whereas this stitching here is all black. It's monochromatic. See, look, you can't even hardly see. It's the same color black. Do you see this? Same color black. Okay. These little tiny, these are like just a couple few inches long. The strap part on the guys, the ratio doesn't seem right. This seems, I guess that could be right. Okay, fine. I withdraw that one. This isn't it. And then also another issue I have with this bag is when he turns around on the camera, and I did a full analysis yesterday. I don't really feel like going to do the whole thing all over again, but if you remember, y'all can help the class along if you do remember going over this. There was seemingly no logo at all on his backpack. I mean, when he turned around in the cam, I didn't see a logo anywhere, no logo, and I did not see this vent. It looked like more like one of those ebags.com bags that's flat. It didn't look like it had one of these vents in the front. That's 3 really serious discrepancies for me. The Ozark Trail embroidered front right here pattern, as well as the vent right here on the front. They conveniently don't post the picture of the back of the backpack, probably because people would be asking questions like I am. I also am not convinced by this side water bottle holder either. I think the one he has kind of angles up more, but I won't bet the farm on that. Anyway, I did a whole analysis yesterday, and that's not even really supposed to be the point here, but I just want to let the record reflect. I'm not going along with everybody else saying the lines are the same length. This isn't the same backpack to me. And all of that to say, I reserve the right to change my mind. I could be convinced, but right now I'm not seeing that's not the same backpack. I don't know. There's some similarities, but no. Anyway, they have increased the reward. They've doubled it. Well, it's gone up way more than double if you consider the first $2,500 reward. Then it went to $50,000. Now it's up to $100,000. And they have now officially announced he's 5'9" to 5'10", and they are saying Ozark Trail. So even though it doesn't look to me like the same backpack, I do want to read that announcement to y'all from the FBI. Now, Jenny had told me, check out Ozark Trail Juniper 14-day pack. Let's try that. Ozark Trail Juniper 14-day pack. Yeah, that looks it does resolve some issues. The vent, it did look more like that type of front. I didn't see a label. However, this one doesn't look like so obstructive. It does look more like, no, I don't think this is it, because the sides, this isn't the right, Jenny, this isn't the right sides. Those were mesh. This is something else. But yes, this is more like what I was thinking, like something flat on the front, not the thing with, not these vents. I didn't see these vents on the backpack. This vent, I didn't see that. But it was grainy black and white infrared footage too. Who really knows what was going on? Thank you so much for the $199 and the $199 and for that. The front looks similar. Yep. Yeah, I do think so. Okay, so what else do I have? I have so many line items. Put a 6 in the chat if you have never seen that experiment like that before. If this was the first time, put a 6 in the chat. If this was the first time you ever saw that experiment. Remember that anytime you start feeling like scared to trust your own gut, your own judgment, anytime you start feeling like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat, just remember that experiment and how stupid then people look sitting there saying them lines were the same length. Okay. All right. Let me get my line items up. The next thing is, here is a rough sketch of the search that was near Nancy's home yesterday. Rough sketch of yesterday's search near Nancy. Yesterday's search near Nancy Guthrie's home, which led to the discovery of a set. I think you're supposed to say pair, Michael, my lord. A pair of gloves that sources say are now being investigated. It's unclear what else they were looking for when they kicked this off yesterday morning. Okay, so this was roughly the search area, the red line. So I guess they were looking for things that had maybe been discarded out of the car, and the gloves were found right here, supposedly. And someone said, where is Annie's home on this route? How many businesses or homes between her home and the glove location that may have a camera? Someone said Annie's home is about 4 miles to the west of Nancy. So I don't exactly know if this is oriented with the north up, but so the red area right here along this road is what they searched yesterday. Here's Nancy's home right here. And if this is north, south, east, west, as it's, as it sits, then Annie's would be over here somewhere. Okay, cool. Next line item. Okay, so the next line item I have on here is they found a glove, but they end up finding a bunch of gloves. So I'm going to skip that one. Okay, something else I've noticed. The PR on this story has changed. It has shifted. Probably most of y'all know this. Some of y'all might not know this if you're new to this channel from just this Nancy Guthrie coverage, but I have covered a lot of court cases and a few true crime investigations and things like that, but I have done a lot of on the ground type of reporting, you could say. I don't really exactly know what to call it, but like going to court cases, taking notes, and then telling everybody what I saw there at court. I've been to many Britney Spears conservatorship hearings. I would take notes. I would come out. I would talk. And, this entails like standing in line for court. And like, then I would go to the rallies. Sometimes I didn't go inside the court. I would just go to the outside. Like they would be having a rally outside, like a protest against the conservatorship or whatever. And so I also have been to court with Bam Margera, not as his lawyer or anything, but just, as a member of the public, and then reported on it. I went to Amanda Bynes' conservatorship hearing, termination hearing. I went to the Diddy jury the day that the jury handed down the verdict in the Diddy trial. I was in the courtroom. And so I've been around a lot of rallies. I've been around a lot of media PR funded rally goers. And I kind of know what I'm looking at this point. And yesterday I noticed on JLR Investigates live stream, and bless him, shout out to him. I need to go give him a super chat next time I'm in there, just to thank you and appreciate his work, because he is live all day. Okay, live all day, not just making little, hi, I'm outside the Guthrie house, and then go and sit in his trailer. No. He's outside in the heat, live all day. The phone starts glitching, it's overheating. Anyway, so he's out there all day, and I started noticing yesterday, and also just for the context, yesterday was the day after we saw that one guy who said he was a private investigator for the family. And there was all these headlines, the family has hired a private investigator. So that happened on Tuesday. Then yesterday, I started noticing on JLR Investigates streams that there was a very different tone and vibe of the people that had started to just randomly come up to him. It felt very like, I'm not going to say crisis actor, because I know that has a sort of like connotation that's negative, or like conspiracy theory or whatever, but like I'm telling you, like I've been around agent provocateurs. I've seen them. I've seen them at rallies. I saw them at the Diddy rallies. I saw them on the internet, some of them at the anti-Scientology protests. I've seen them at the Long Island audit protests. Like there'll be one or two, and it's like, I know what I'm looking at. And so like, I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to say when, I'm not going to give any hint like that, because he does get approached all day long. But I will say yesterday, I noticed a very distinct difference between how some of the people were interacting with him, and it was very obvious that they were on purpose singling JLR Investigates out to go and get a message to him, whether it be to rehabilitate someone else's reputation, for example, whether it be to push a certain twist on the story, etc., etc. And then I was watching his video again today, his live stream, and I saw it happen again. Now, put that together with a few other things I see going on, and it's just like, in and of itself, I know like me personally, I wouldn't have really ever given some of this stuff any thought at all. But it's like, now that I've like seen paid propaganda campaigns, and I'm not saying, oh, it was the family that hired these people, or it was the cops, or it was the feds, or it was a lobbying group, or maybe it was opposition, somebody that hates the Pima County shit. I don't know. But you got to ask yourself certain stuff. Like, for example, is this guy really standing out here just for fun, dressed like a clown with a sign? It seems the Tucson residents are not happy with how Sheriff Nanos has handled the Nancy Guthrie investigation. So he's out here for what? To what? To draw attention. He's a guy dressed as a clown. All roads leads to clowns, by the way. Sheriff Nanos, from one clown to another, resign. It is funny. Maybe there's like a old, or I don't know how old this man is. He's got face paint on. Maybe there's a guy out there who just wanted to put on a clown outfit and stand out there in the hot Arizona sun in a plastic clown outfit. Maybe, but like maybe someone's paying him hourly to do that. Why? Because even if he's not getting paid to stand out there in front of the Whole Foods, what is his purpose for doing this? What do you think? What do you think is the purpose for this man doing this? To draw attention, and probably on the internet and in the news. He probably wanted to be seen doing this. So then it's like literally a billboard. All of a sudden you're seeing stuff like this. This is in the PR is in full swing section of my video, if you're wondering. Okay, now come to find out that sign. Oh, I thought it was a different message. No, it's the same message. Okay. All right. So JLR is being followed around the town and given tips aggressively yesterday. People telling him what to do. And it was like, excuse me, what are you doing? Now, speaking of people coming up to JLR Investigates, like I already said, some of these people seem totally normal. Some of these people seem like they are hired or paid. So I think this next person I'm about to tell you about, I think is like, I have no reason to believe this person is a plant. I have no reason to believe this person is it wasn't giving those vibes. This lady seemed like she lived right around the corner. JLR was all over the place today. He went to like this area where there was a CVS. He went to this other area where they found the glove yesterday. And so a lady, she said, I haven't done anything all week. I've been watching you. And so it kind of like the story added up. She's like, I'm from here. I wanted to tell you some stuff. And she did give him a couple tips. I don't even remember exactly what all the tips were, but one of the things that she said really piqued my interest. She said, see this CVS right here? That's Nancy's. That was her CVS or is her CVS. And the way that I know this, the local told JLR, the way that I know this is because I went in there, or my friend went in there just a couple of days after Nancy was reported missing. And the pharmacist told her, the cashier told her that Nancy used to come in here, or, you know, would come in there all the time with her caretaker. Do y'all remember that Adult Protective Services card that was in the door? Where was I Care a Lot? I'm starting to wonder, and I'm really just wondering and curious. Wait, hold on. Nancy had a caretaker? Could be a hired caretaker, but I just renew my question. Was there some type of conservatorship, or was there a grab for Nancy's money? Because remember, the Guthrie family apparently has old money from coal mines. Her husband passed away in 1988. So is there maybe a trust? Is there maybe some money? Remember, none of them kids were living over there by Nancy till last year. Did she have a slip and fall? Did the state take over as her conservator? I mean, I have all these questions. And if she did have a conservator, or if she was in a guardianship of any sort, is that person going to be held responsible for this? These are all speculations based on one random person telling JLR Investigates today live on the street that Nancy and her caretaker would go to the CVS all the time. It is interesting. Now, I don't know if she actually had a caretaker. Of course, I don't know these people. But I did make a little Twitter tweet about the PR. I said the following. This is just my opinion. It's obvious that someone has hired a PR response team to be on the ground in Tucson over the past 2 days. These wacky neighbors showing up all of a sudden that haven't been here before, coordinating the colors of the flowers to bring, running positive PR for Tommaso, telling YouTubers how they should word things. This ain't my freaking first rodeo. The wacky neighbors coming to physically touch and drag trained elite, quote elite, FBI agents to certain spots around their house. The professional lighting and backgrounds in the neighbor's house on these sudden Zoom call interviews they're all of a sudden doing in the last 2 days. Someone is running PR and spending a lot, but who? In the age of PR spin and smear campaigns on social media, it actually surprises me that it took them this long to hire a team to combat the boots on the ground, aka real journalism, from running away with the narrative. That's just my opinion. So speaking of which, the Guthrie family did come out and say they did not hire no private freaking investigator. According to Matt Finn, FNC, a source close to the Guthrie family tells Fox News the family did not hire a private investigator. Reports claiming they did are not true. Phil Holloway said, well, maybe they should hire one. That may be their best hope for answers, sadly. That said, I have faith in the FBI. Matt Finn said, I was thinking it's not the worst idea. Heard that. Okay, that was the next line item. Okay, so if that guy wasn't a private investigator, what is he or who is he? Well, this guy, I'm actually coming to really enjoy his coverage on these. He's kind of funny and sarcastic, like a little crass, like, but funny. He said that dude everybody thought was a PI is likely one of the cowboys they brought in on the Koberger case. Remember Brian Koberger, the Idaho 4? Media confirming today, same member from the team were behind that tent. Someone, Heidi, said those guys are out of Alabama. They do the digital mapping using lasers and whatnot. Same guys that mapped the Idaho 4 house. And I did see a vehicle yesterday with a Texas plate. So I asked not Texas, but then we get later confirmation those guys were Alabama. So they're calling him Cowboy. Cowboy. Okay, so here is a little more information on that. Scoop. Fox News Digital has learned new details about activity at Nancy Guthrie's home. FBI experts in video, imagery, and physical science were seen carrying video forensics equipment into the tent. We're going to talk about the tent in a little while. A prominent member of the team has worked other high-profile cases, including the Brian Koberger investigation. Photos obtained by Fox News Digital appear to show investigators leaving with a diagram displaying human heights, suggesting authorities may be comparing physical conditions at the scene to Nest surveillance video in an effort to develop a suspect description. Well, we do know that they do now have a suspect description, and that looks so weird how he's got a tripod in his hand and he's holding this height chart. And then he's got this like Deadpool Spider-Man thing on his backpack. But anyway, so this guy has this height chart, and I think they were trying to figure out like exactly how tall the suspect was based on the front of Nancy's house to give us that physical description of the 5'9" to 5'10". Oh yeah, the eyebrow situation too, someone said. Okay, so that was that picture. I wanted to show y'all that. Speaking of a different PR approach, we also today got a video of Nancy. Savannah Guthrie shares several videos of Nancy, but it was like, through the years. Savannah Guthrie shares look at good old days with mom, promises not to give up. Our lovely mom, we will never give up on her. Thank you for your prayers and hope. Savannah posted a series of heartfelt home videos featuring her mom, Nancy, and she says there's no way she's giving up on her mom. Jesus Christ. It won't let me have a reader view now. Really? What a nightmare. Okay, no more reader view. Great. Okay. The NBC journalist shared, oh yeah, she's an NBC journalist. Shared on Instagram this morning showing her and her mom. The kids are happy, smiling, waving at the cameras in the clip while Nancy beams bright in a blue dress. Black and white photos show her. Okay. Okay, let's just go to the post. Why am I reading a freaking TMZ article about it? Let's watch it. Okay, here's the video. Actually, I'm not going to play the song because I don't know if it's copyright or whatever. I don't want my whole video to get nuked. Okay, there's Nancy. There's the kids. Oh, Lord, she got a black eye. Where's the shadow? That's Nancy. Y'all. Annie always been looking like that. And he always been looking like that too. Savannah was a little chunk. Okay, let's see what else. Well, it's not playing. Maybe I need to close some tabs. Okay, I'm not going to play the music. I don't know if it's copyrighted. Here's Nancy calling the kids over. She was pretty. I would have thought like Savannah's hair would have been lighter. I thought maybe she would be a blonde. Okay, so that's the whole video. Okay, so it was done. All right, let me still close some tabs. My computer starts to lag. Okay, so that's sweet. Bring Nancy home for real. Let me move to my next line item. Okay, speaking of videos, the sheriff has asked for the public to submit videos. Here's the official announcement. Piedmont County Sheriff's Department just sent an official message to Ring owners on the app. On the Neighbors app, asking residents with home surveillance cameras to share any video within a 2-mile radius of Nancy's home between January 1st and February 1st. Update: endangered missing person. The Pima County Sheriff's Department periodically uses the Neighbors app to contact residents with home surveillance cameras. Requests will come from Pima County Sheriff's Department with a blue verified check mark. Please verify posts before sharing. Investigators are requesting surveillance video within a 2-mile radius from Nancy's house from January 1st, the whole month of January through February 2nd. And then they give you a link to share your video with them through the Neighbors app. They also posted a similar thing here on the on Twitter. They said the Pima County Sheriff's Department periodically uses this Neighbors app to contact residents with home surveillance cameras. Make sure before you start sending your home surveillance video that it's actually coming from us. And they tweeted that as well. I'm just going through my next line item. Okay, so that's nice. I mean, I don't know what took them so damn long. It's day 12. Now they just finally asking for surveillance. It's just really like, what's really going on here? So they share that link and then come to find out, guess what? The link didn't work. The link did not work. The link to submit videos does not work in the latest Pima County Sheriff's Department post requesting video footage. Womp, womp. Okay. That was the next line item. But have no fear. I was going to say have no distress. You can have a little bit, but the link apparently works now. Okay. The link apparently works now. Investigators are requesting any video showing vehicles, traffic, pedestrians. Because this is what they want the videos of, everybody. Video showing vehicles, traffic, pedestrians, or quote, suspicious activity from January 1st through February 2nd. This is near East Skyline Drive and North Campbell Avenue. This is a 2-mile radius, and then they give a link. The link works now. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So the link didn't work, but then now it works. Speaking of this guy, he apparently always did not like cooperating with the FBI in this 33-second video from 5 years ago.
Am I upset at the FBI? Absolutely. They should. They get by with saying no comment. Who does that in today's world?
Who does that indeed?
Yet they get by with that. And when this thing's all resolved and the case is all over, I challenge him. I challenge Mr. Black to stand up to that camera by himself and say, we have looked at this investigation and we have exonerated, completely find this investigation to be total BS, because that's what it is.
Girl, one more time, I want you to hear that first part.
Am I upset at the FBI? Absolutely. They should. They get by with saying no comment. Who does that in today's world?
Who does that in today's world? Who does that? Who does that in today's world? And yet they get by with that. Let me see who does that in today's world. Sheriff. Let me see real quick. I'm going to go to your department real quick. Right here. Let me go here. Let's go here. 5 hours ago. There are no press briefings scheduled at this time. Sheriff Nanos is not conducting one-on-one interviews. Should a significant development occur, a press conference will be called and media will be notified via email and our Pima Sheriff account. Okay. All right. Who does that in today's world, buddy? Who freaking does that? Yesterday, there are no press briefings or interviews scheduled at this time. Should a significant development occur, a press conference will be called and media will be notified via email and our Pima Sheriff X account. What about the day before? Surely nobody was getting away with and doing that the day before over there at the Pima Sheriff. Oh, no press conference is scheduled at this time. No comment. What about the day before that? Oh no, that same day. There are no press briefings planned at this time. Sheriff Nanos is not conducting one-on-one interviews. If and when press conference is scheduled, we will notify media via email. Who even does that? Who even does that today? I don't know why they were a robot. The Pima Sheriff is a robot in my mind. This case gonna go cold with this type of ineptitude. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. I don't know why in my notes I was so mad. I said, speaking of this podunk idiot, he always hated the feds because, like, I don't really like him that much either. Okay, well, the good news is we don't actually know for sure if that guy's even in charge. And in fact, and indeed, nobody knows who's in charge of the investigation. Brian Inton from News Nation reports, I'm told many of the investigators working the case don't even know who is in charge and whether it's FBI or the Pima County Sheriff. Or is it Mark freaking Kelly who's in charge? Who's really in charge? Who's really in charge? Jeffrey McCloskey said, Brian, nobody in the country knows who's in charge down there. Good news. Nobody knows who's in charge. Is it the FBI or this guy? We don't know. We don't know. But apparently they also don't know. So that's something. Apparently, though, have no fear because they are conducting the investigation just exactly the same way as they did whenever Mark Kelly's wife, Gabby Giffords, was tragically pew. Now, I think she did survive, but with some serious injuries. Mary Coleman said there have been questions over who is leading the Guthrie investigation. The sheriff tells me it's a joint investigation. We are working this case exactly as we did the Gabby Giffords case. Everything we are doing together. Well, maybe y'all should start doing stuff apart and it can move along a little faster. It took you 6 days to find a freaking glove. Okay, but the drama continues, everybody. While we're waiting for some real news, we got sheriff drama I just have to report on. Breaking. This is 3 or 4 hours ago. Local sources in Arizona tell us the Pima County Sheriff has not turned lead of the investigation over to the FBI. Yeah, he just told us he was doing it jointly. That Nanos is acting like he is in a pissing match with other agencies. I don't know if I shared that or not. My little green thing ain't on. I shared it just now. All right, y'all. So there's some trouble. There's some trouble in paradise over there. And Dan Bongino apparently don't work for the government no more. He's back to podcasting and he has some things to say. He is now, I guess, on the Mockingbird list, breaks down the latest developments in the Nancy Guthrie case. I'm pretty confident the cooperation level between the sheriff and the FBI is not good.
But on the Guthrie case, so you've probably seen the news stories that a black glove that appears to resemble the black glove of the perpetrator or the suspect in the case caught on the Nest camera, was found on the side of the road. Listen, I'm reading the news reports here. I am pretty confident the cooperation level between the sheriff and the FBI is not good. Folks, I'm not here. I got Senator Tommy Tuberville coming up later, and we're going to chat more about this. I'm not here to tell you, like, oh, the FBI and federal law enforcement, Secret Service, DEA, like, we're the answer to every problem all the time. Local police officers.
He's still saying we. He's still saying we. You clock that? Hold on.
The people, the source is better than them. Some of these detectives have conducted more homicide interviews. We're the answer to every problem all the time. Local police officers are the best of the best. Nobody knows their AORs. I'm not here. I got Senator Tommy Tuberville coming up later.
Listen.
Chat more about this.
He said we.
Tell you, like, oh, the FBI and federal law enforcement, Secret Service, DEA, like, we're the answer to every problem all the time. Local police officers are the best of the best. Nobody knows their AORs, areas of responsibility. The people, the source is better than them. Some of these detectives have conducted more homicide interviews than a 20-year FBI agent. These guys are incredible. The FBI has TFOs, task force officers too, because police officers and others, because they're so good at what they do. However, when it comes to science and technology, it's a simple matter of a budget issue. I don't want to bore you with details, but the FBI's budget is close to between 11 and 12 billion dollars.
So?
That's a lot of money. Now, it's a global enterprise.
Okay, whatever. I don't really need his mansplain, okay? But what I do know,
and
he just said we. He said, I could tell you one thing. They're not getting along. They're probably not getting along too good. Okay, so let's go to this gloves. This situation. Sheriff confirms a pair of black gloves was being tested for DNA. This was the last night.
Saw FBI agents and deputies pick up during the search around the Nancy Guthrie area today. We now have information on what that was and what led investigators there. Sheriff Chris Nanos has now confirmed that they recovered 2 black gloves during their search of the surrounding area today. That search was prompted by the surveillance video and what they saw. They finally knew what they were looking for, and they apparently found it. Obviously, there's a lot of searching that's being done right now, a lot of investigative efforts, but that is the latest on the black glove, not just 1, but 2 that were found. That's what they were looking for, and they knew that from the surveillance video. We're now being told that those are being DNA tested. We will see what they learn from those, and if they're able to get any potential suspect DNA. But that is the latest in the evidence search and investigation.
Okay, Slay. Who is she? She's pretty. I like her. Okay, Slay. Okay. So they're testing the DNA on the 2 gloves. Well, then come to find out, y'all. Oh my God, it was so funny last night. I think, okay, put a 7 in the chat if you're kind of like, you're definitely still here for the case, you're interested or whatever, but you're just kind of starting to get like a little like, a tent went up. It's like 2 hours of news coverage because a tent went up. It's 2 hours of news coverage because there was a glove, and then 2 hours of news coverage again because there's another glove. But still, this elite team with the SWAT team and every glove and every department and every satellite and this and that, and they're picking up Carlos, the DoorDash driver, and they're dropping him back off. And it's a bit like, put a 7 in the chat if you're like, you're here for following the case, but you're starting to get a little bit like, okay, because like I think that started for me a little bit yesterday. I'm still invested. Like, I'm here. But I'm kind of starting to be like, what? Like, it's kind of difficult. Oh, good. Okay, wait. Breaking news 14 minutes ago. Amazon guy just walked on. Is this true? Amazon guy just walked on to Nancy Guthrie's property to deliver a package to her. These morons. This is exactly what I was saying. This is exactly what I was in the middle of saying. I'm starting to get like, okay, we got to get this buckled up, boys. We got to get the vest tightened up here or whatever. I don't know what idiom I'm looking for. We got to tighten it up. If the FBI is not in charge, maybe give them a try. You know, it's kind of like when you see 2 kids trying to fight over a toy and you're like, well, this one's tore the toy up. So maybe give it to the other one. Let big brother try it for a minute. If he messes it up, maybe we just give it to the freaking don't F with cats people. The internet sleuths. Oh boy. Okay, so I wanted to show y'all some funny some funny things that were being said last night. Y'all, okay, are we serious with Mark Kelly? Are we freaking serious? You know how the other day I was saying that Ashley Banfield kind of had a little bit of an avian-esque look? This one is a rodent. I would call this a rodent. rodent-esque. It's giving rodent, golem, geriatric rodent. Like a face I can't trust. I'm sorry. I don't feel trustworthy of that face. Oh my gosh, this is funny. Okay, this is one of those funny things. And speaking of the like PR picking up on this case so much lately.
Hey guys, shit's getting real. They took Savannah Guthrie's mother? Who steals somebody's mother? There's a ransom. They really kidnapped somebody's grandma. Oh, snap. They brought in the FBI, guys. Shit's getting real. Where is Nancy? Today's the deadline. They have to find her by today. It was the sister. It had to be the sister. Look at her eyes. And
This
Tomasa,
is funny.
who spells Tomas
This is us.
with an extra O?
Extra S.
Okay, where is Nancy? She is not in the septic tank. And why is the sheriff at a basketball game? Why is Savannah not up in the cash
This
money?
is us.
Damn it, I'm gonna go find this damn lady myself.
I'm finding her myself. Let me
Who is
check
the
my
man
bathroom.
on the porch. I'm telling you, those are man eyes. Those are not lady eyes.
There's
it
her
has
lady.
to be. It's the son-in-law. It has to be. They just found a glove in her yard this whole
They
time.
didn't. It wasn't
Did they
in her
find
yard.
her yet?
Yeah,
No?
us today. Yeah, no? All right.
They took
All right.
Savannah Guthrie's mother?
That was a good one. That was a good one. I got to give it to Zach. That one was good. I reshared that one. Cardi B, did y'all know Cardi B is in the middle of having a beef with the Department of Homeland Security? Yeah, that's happening. Let's go on that line real quick. Real quick. Oh, Cardi B done. Oh no, it's still there. Cardi B jokingly threatens to jump ICE at her concert. And then the Department of Homeland Security retweeted it. The TMZ article. Yes, these are the times we live in. They retweeted the TMZ article and said, as long as she doesn't drug and rob our agents, we'll consider that an improvement over her past behavior. What is going on? What is this timeline I've woken up in? Then she goes off about Epstein. They go back and forth. And so the point was they're in the middle of beef. This right here, somebody had tweeted this and said, like a bot or something, was like, reality has gotten so absurd that accurately describing what's happening makes you sound insane. And I said, me looking at this backpack right now, y'all don't think that Ozark backpack that the FBI just released looks like the kidnapper's backpack, right? It's not the backpack. This is who's in charge. They can't tell backpacks apart. That's when I had the thought about the which stick is longer experiment. I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe I'm the one wrong. I mean, I'm open to that. Oh, girl, did y'all see this lady? This was another drama happened today. There's this lady on the Home Garden TV channel, and she said not only N-word hard R, she said it like that was a daily, a momently occurrence for her. And then what she said, she combined the word with when she was like doing a little, trying to get something down or something. And she said, she wasn't talking to anyone. Like she was just like using it as a curse word. I'm not trying to diminish it at all. Okay. I'm just saying there was nobody in the vicinity that she was like actually calling a name or anything, but she did say the word and it had hard R at the end. And she said fart, hard R fart as like a curse word. And then she turns to her camera people and she's like, dude, guys, what did I just say? It's like, bitch, I was wondering the same shit. I was wondering the same thing. What the hell did you just say? N-word fart? What the fuck? Hold on. Oh, I have so many questions. What? And then she releases this apology and she's like, I've never said that in my life. It's like, girl, nobody believes that. Stop. Anyway, it's not funny. It was really, actually, it kind of is funny that she's trying to act like, if she never said that in her life, she needs to go get the Tourette screening instantaneously. But I have a feeling she's going to be like, I have Tourette's. It was a Tourette syndrome thing. Anyway, why doesn't TMZ just send this guy a Bitcoin and get the name? I'm wondering. Okay, we did the Cardi B beef. Okay, then I said this. I'm beginning to wonder if this Nancy situation has an I care a lot vibe. The Adult Protective Services card on the door, her known mobility issues. She likely has money from that coal empire creating an incentive. She had a caretaker, according to that lady that came up, talked to JLR Investigates today. Conservatorship, question mark. I'm trying to find the funny things I was saying last night. No, there was like a David update today. Okay, let me go back. Okay, let's see. JLR investigates, personally thinks someone planted the glove after the photos and surveillance of the suspect were released. I said somebody's walking around tossing black gloves like it's Mardi Gras beads. This is the part I was like, this is too much. This is starting to give crisis actor, paid provocateur. Look at this. Let me pause it right here. And remember yesterday, put an 8 in the chat. If you remember yesterday seeing that picture of that long ponytail Kim Possible looking ass FBI agent with HSI, put an 8 in the chat if you remember us looking at that red hair and it was like, oh, that's such a nice picture. They need to put that in the propaganda. Remember when I said that? Put an 8 in the chat if you remember me saying they need to put that in the propaganda, like, join us, join the FBI. Like, that's a good picture with her long ponytail in the wind and all of that. Well, they put her to work today. The crisis actors did. I'm saying crisis actor, y'all. This might be really a neighbor. I'm just kind of joking around, but it is strange and it has this weird vibe to it. Watch. It says neighbors seeking out FBI agents around Nancy Guthrie home. One woman saw a masked man in her yard. All of a sudden today. Yesterday, she just saw a masked man. Okay. Look. They linking arms. Look at her. Look, that's her right there. Watch her go. Look at her. You, come here. There's a masked man in my yard. Go get the freaking cops. This is an investigator. Girl, what in this is going on over there in Tucson, the Catalina Hills? FBI grid search near the home of Nancy. That's another thing I find to be very odd and interesting. Do you find it to be odd and interesting that these federal agents aren't saying, get out of our way? Can you go over there? Y'all see how these cops usually act. They're linking arm in arm with him, skipping down like it's Dorothy and freaking Cowardly Lion. What is this? What is this? What is this? They are usually, step back, sir. Step back, sir. Now they're skipping down the road with each other. I don't think they should be, aggressive and stuff like that with us, but they often are. So it's like, it's just odd. I'll just say it's just odd. Okay, hold on. I said geriatric rodent. Oh my God. Let me find where it was. Okay, this part. This 22 hours ago is where I started being like, girl, a second glove, just in a second glove. I said, oh Lord, another glove, Lord. Every glove in the whole city is going to get reported to the FBI. Everybody's going to be reporting these gloves. Another glove, Lord. Oh, my Lord, another glove. And then somebody said, if they find a third glove, I'm done. I think they did. I think they found many more gloves. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the agent just went along with the strange lady. Yeah. Thanks so much, Amber, for the $1.99 super chat. Goal is to send you money as long as I'm able. Thank you so much. Every day I'm live. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Busted Can of Biscuits, for the $4.99 super sticker. Shout out to you for becoming a member. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where do all the gloves I know. I see gloves everywhere. You better call the FBI. 1-800-CALL FBI. My neighbor got arrested by ATF years ago, and the agents closed off our block, and we're not friendly to curious folks trying to watch them do their work. Exactly. At this point, what's really going on? Girl, I don't know. Not a handed bandit. I don't know what that means. Floating plastic grocery bags are the new tumbleweeds. Hit the like, hit the like. The way they got a glove wait list for testing over there at the lab. Girl, oh my God. And of course, all the media is carrying around a box of those gloves now as a prop. Oh my God. Like. Thank you, thank you. At least they're picking up the litter. There it is. There it is. Can we get to, can we get to 600 likes, please? Can we get 600 likes? I don't know. The stripes don't look alike. Can we get to 600 likes, please? Thank you. It helps me a lot. Okay, wait. Where's my next line item? Okay, so the gloves are being tested for DNA. The pair of gloves and all the gloves are being tested. Okay, I saw this yesterday. This is interesting. This is just like a tip that someone is posting. This nerdy. I told y'all I'm liking this guy's coverage. Nerdy addict, nerdy Esquire. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, did they find Nancy? Nope. Said this evening that additional detainments are expected as investigators sort through thousands of calls and tips. Okay, so they're expecting to go pick more people up for questioning, the sheriff apparently allegedly said yesterday. That was said. Okay, now there are multiple gloves found. Hold on. Okay, we'll have to get to that update when we do the daily updates read through. Okay, so now let's get to this tent. Okay, there was some drama today on the scene with a tent, all right?
And Matt Finn is live outside Nancy Guthrie's home where we're seeing some movement. Matt, describe the scene for us.
Yeah, in the past couple of minutes, we saw this white tent be put up outside of the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home. Obviously not clear why that tent is there, but it is most certainly blocking view from the public and any passerbys. We imagine there might be some activity happening inside of that tent, which is directly in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. Of course, that doorstep has now become such a critical element of this investigation because we have seen that masked figure right outside of that front door. Also, the blood drops leading from the front door
You see the tent?
sidewalk to the gravel driveway. Perhaps the tent is protecting that blood and the evidence from the sun, or perhaps there will be ongoing investigations that they want to keep a little more discreet underneath that white tent. But it was just put up moments ago. We'll be sure to keep you updated on any activity going in or out of that tent. It's clear to us.
It looks like they got a gap in the tent. Somebody needs to zoom in. Look like a gap. Somebody zoom in.
Have really been focusing on the area in and around Nancy Guthrie's home, meaning foot searches on the ground. Also over at Annie Guthrie's house as well. Over the past couple of days, our crews have seen foot searches, grid light searches.
Okay, so they put the tent up and the guy is talking on the news like they might leave it up because they might have to do. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up, Jeannie. I'll put a star on it. They might be leaving it up because we need the evidence and the private and the testing and the this and the that. They took that tent down after about an hour or two. They took that tent right down. So what were they doing in the tent? What were they doing with the tent? Someone said it's called a chalet. Well, we did get a little bit of information about what could have possibly been going on under that tent for the few hours they had it up. For one, JLR Investigates reported that there was an FBI agent who had an Ultra Studio 4K Mini kit in his hand. The tent was up in front of the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home. We have some more tips from the tent. This is a joke right here. This guy, I told y'all he's very funny. He said investigators have removed the white tent and set up a more permanent one with a portable folding table as they prepare for Nancy Grace. Because somebody said this case isn't going to end until Nancy Grace is sitting there in front of Nancy Guthrie's house, reporting 24 hours a day. Okay, so they took down the tent. They took down the white tent. Here's some more speculations and possibilities of what could have been going on in that tent. There was the tent, a different angle here. They should have kept that sheriff car there because the delivery driver walked right up to the right up the driveway. Current situation, tent up. This was 9 hours ago. One deputy standing guard. I don't see any more officers. Known potential evidence at Nancy Guthrie's doorstep. Blood. Small potential evidence. So this isn't for sure, but this is just stuff that this guy, Michael Ruiz, he reports for Fox News Digital. He's saying potential evidence at the doorstep. Blood, small glass fragments, perhaps. Missing Nest doorbell cam, masked man, and torn brush. Remember the bush that he pulled up and tried to cover the camera with? He said, I'm told one other use for the tent. Investigators may be taking another look at the blood spots under a black light. Okay, all right. So that's another possibility of what they were doing behind that tent. This is another picture of that 4K mini. Police at Nancy Guthrie's home are using a Black Magic Ultra Studio 4K mini. That is a professional video capture device commonly found in forensics labs and interview rooms and streamers who do a high production streaming. They have these Black Magic, what do they call, like bridges or whatever, a capture box. It connects cameras or DVRs to a computer to record and process high quality evidence footage, not a surveillance gadget, just a high end capture box. So it helps to like take and keep track of like really high definition video and camera and stuff like that. Now, there was a huge update. This is actually one of the bigger updates of the day. When they took the tent down, there was a noticeable difference in the front of the house. The Nest camera bracket was removed from Nancy's house after investigators erected a tent to shroud evidence gathering. Investigators asking for all video footage pertaining to Nancy's disappearance covering the month before she went missing. They removed the remaining Nest doorbell camera equipment from her door while shrouded by a white tent outside her house Thursday. The tent was erected hastily, stayed up for about an hour as investigators gathered evidence in secret. The only discernible difference when the tent came down was the missing bracket that once held a Nest camera that the masked suspect was caught tampering with, according to footage released earlier this week. It's unclear what else investigators recovered while working in secrecy outside Nancy's home. I don't see any forced entry here. What maybe? Oh, this right here is where the Nest camera was. Wow, that's ominous. See the drilled holes? No more bracket. See, the Nest camera had gotten taken, but there was still the holster on the door. It got taken down today under the tent. In a subsequent alert, authorities requested all footage from vehicles. So they are now asking like vehicles, people, houses taken between January 1st and 2nd. I'm interested in why they're not asking for Tesla footage. They're asking for Ring camera footage specifically, but not Tesla footage. The alert was sent out to all users of the Neighbors app within a 2-mile radius. In a statement, authorities confirmed they had recovered several potentially key pieces of evidence, including a pair of black gloves, one of which the New York Post saw the feds recover. They were there. They took a picture of it yesterday. Nancy was last seen alive, allegedly, around 9:45 p.m. on January 31st when she was dropped off at home by her son-in-law, Tommaso. So it's 2 M's. Her pacemaker lost contact with her Apple Watch around 2 a.m. on February 1st, and both the device and her iPhone were found in her house. A close-up of the front door right here. And this is where, see this white thing right here? That is the Ring camera bracket that used to be up there. It's gone now. And this is the Adult Protective Services card. How long was Nancy Guthrie actually missing? Did we really know for sure? When is the last time anybody besides Tommaso and Annie saw Nancy Guthrie? Tommaso and Annie, okay, fine. When's the last time anybody else saw her? That's what I want to know. Because remember, Annie's the one who lives down the street. A close-up of the front door. Earlier this month, there's the tent. A fellow worshiper alerted Nancy's family when she failed to show up at her house for a virtual church later that morning. On February 5th, Savannah and her two siblings released their first video message begging for their mother's safe return. In a second short video released on Savannah's Instagram account on February 6th, her brother Cameron, Charles Cameron, urged whoever is out there holding our mother, contact the family. February 7th, 2 days later, the three siblings put out a third message. We beg you, return our mom. February 9th, there were no major updates, and Savannah made another last desperate plea. Okay, so let me close some of these tabs, and then I'll go to the next item on the line items. Okay. So now we need to move to the next section of this video, and that is, this is another one where I'm like, we doing this again? How many times can we do this in a week? TMZ. They got another Bitcoin demand. They got one yesterday. They got another one today. Second Nancy Guthrie demand note. Last chance to pay for kidnapper's identity. Nancy Guthrie new Bitcoin demand to ID kidnapper. This is today. I feel like I'm doing Groundhog Day. TMZ has received another email from the person who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper, and the words are chilling. As we reported, TMZ received an email yesterday asking for 1 Bitcoin in return for the name of the kidnapper. A single Bitcoin is currently worth between $65,000 to $67,000. We monitored the account all day, but nothing was deposited. Just after 8 a.m. Pacific time Thursday, that's today, about 10 hours ago, TMZ received a second email from the same person. And they complained, quote, "I'm not being taken seriously." He makes some ominous statements in the email. TMZ is cooperating with law enforcement and not disclosing specifics at this time. You know they're going to disclose them eventually. One thing he makes clear, the situation has changed from Wednesday to Thursday. As for why he wants a Bitcoin, he says he'll need the money to lay low after identifying the kidnapper for fear of retaliation. He also worries he might be incriminated like that Carlos guy. And that was the DoorDash guy. He ends the email by saying this is his final attempt to help. As of this post, no money or Bitcoin has been deposited into his account. So they don't want to pay him. Thanks so much to Ro for gifting 5 That Surprise Witness memberships. Thank you. Thank you. Just heard on JLR they found a glove inside the house. Local sheriff isn't letting FBI test it. Okay, you heard that on JLR, but where did he hear it? Wow. Wow. Okay, hold on. This did come up. Okay, shout out to Jeannie. She said, BJ, I just heard on JLR Investigates live stream that they found a glove inside the house. Local sheriff isn't letting FBI test it. Well, I don't know about this news source, Why Net News. I don't know what that is, but it says FBI 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 blocked from key access to evidence in Nancy Guthrie abduction case. The FBI sought key evidence, including a glove and DNA from Nancy Guthrie's home for testing in Quantico. That's their testing labs. But the sheriff insisted on sending it to a private Florida lab instead. A law enforcement official said an Arizona sheriff is blocking, they saying this is from Reuters, is blocking FBI access to key evidence in the investigation into the abduction of Savannah Guthrie's mother, hampering the FBI's ability to assist in the case. A U.S. law enforcement official familiar with the matter told a U.S. law enforcement official. So the source is the FBI or someone in it. The FBI asked Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos for physical evidence, including a glove and DNA collected from the home. So there was a glove in the home of Nancy Guthrie, is what this article says, to be processed at the FBI's National Crime Laboratory in Quantico, Virginia. Nanos, the sheriff, insisted instead on using a private lab in Florida. Why Florida? This is reeking of Scientology. I swear, I feel church cult, Scientology cult vibes all over this thing. Florida private lab instead of the FBI's lab? Why? Outsourcing the forensic analysis to a Florida contractor has effectively denied the FBI access to crucial evidence and is delaying its ability to assist in the investigation. A spokesperson for the county sheriff's department did not comment on or did not respond to requests for comment. The sheriff's office has primary jurisdiction over the case, and the FBI assistance must be formally requested by the county. Without such a request, the FBI is legally barred from participating in the investigation. I don't think that's true because Bitcoin is involved. Now it's interstate and you can take it. The official said the county has spent about $200,000 to send evidence to Florida. It risks further slowing the case that grows more urgent by the minute, citing unspecific earlier setbacks in the case. The official also criticized the sheriff for not seeking FBI assistance sooner. It's clear that the fastest path to answers is leveraging federal resources and technology. Anything less is only going to prolong the Guthrie family's grief. Signs of friction between the FBI and the sheriff's department have emerged as the search for Nancy entered its 12th day, with investigators intensifying efforts in what authorities believe is a kidnapping for ransom. Okay, there you go. There you go. Thanks so much to VBVCFGCC for the $49.99 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your live commentary. I am optimistic you will see the email I sent about a lawsuit critical to research you have spent hundreds of hours on and staked your reputation on. Good luck and God bless always. Thank you. I'll check that out. I will take a look. Seems like they don't trust the FBI. It seems like the FBI don't trust them. Okay. So what else do I want to show y'all? What else is on these line items? So TMZ got another Bitcoin demand. Womp womp. There were serious, ominous remarks. Harvey Levin made a video about it. I'm so sick of him and I'm tired of looking at him, but I'll show it because it's news and all that.
TMZ has obtained a second email from the man who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. We told you yesterday that this man sent us an email saying that he will reveal the name if he gets 1 Bitcoin. We checked the account all day. He did not receive anything. The account is bare. So this morning, just after 8 a.m. Pacific.
Hello, everybody. I received an email today telling me to send him some Bitcoin. I checked the account all day and no one sent him any Bitcoin. Harvey, why were you needing to check the Bitcoin account? If you knew TMZ and y'all didn't put no money in the account. Do you see what I'm saying? We checked it all day. No one sent money, instead of we obviously didn't send money, and you can, we check, and I can guarantee you no money has been sent to that. You see what I mean? Listen to it. Rewind a little bit. Listen.
He will reveal the name if he gets 1 Bitcoin. We checked the account all day. He did not receive anything. The account is bare. So this morning,
He did not receive anything instead of we didn't send him anything. That was so weird to me.
Time, he sent us this other email complaining that he is not being taken seriously. He says that he wants the Bitcoin, which is worth around $67,000, for several reasons. Number one, he says by coming forward, he will become as he puts it, a national rat. He also says, and this is a quote,
national rat.
He doesn't want to be, quote, incriminated like that guy Carlos. Remember, Carlos is the delivery man who was taken into custody a couple of days ago. Briefly, he was detained and then released. He says that he fears retaliation if he comes forward, and that he needs the Bitcoin because he's going to have to lay low after coming forward. And then he talks about a difference between yesterday and today. And we are not going to get specific about what he's talking about. It is chilling what he is insinuating here. But we have told law enforcement we're not going to get specific about that. But he makes it very clear here that this will be his second and last attempt. We have checked the Bitcoin address that he sent us. By the way, the one from yesterday and today, they are the same.
Somebody said Harvey ain't giving up any of his shekels.
Just before.
Okay. Okay. What's the next thing? All right. So the latest FBI neighborhood canvass in the Guthrie case could mean feds have digital evidence. This is from a theory from a former agent. Extensive canvass of Catalina foothills area comes after doorbell footage showed masked individual. The FBI on Wednesday took to the streets, that was yesterday, and neighborhoods surrounding Nancy Guthrie's home to canvass for clues in her disappearance. The federal law enforcement agency announced the search online and asked the public to use caution. This morning, numerous FBI agents are conducting an extensive search along multiple roadways in the Catalina foothills area related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. The agency said, "We are asking the media and motorists to follow all traffic laws and remain especially cautious when passing law enforcement personnel." In the afternoon, a set of black gloves was found about 1.5 miles southeast of Nancy's home. So I don't know how many gloves were found. It's very ambiguous. I don't know if there was a glove found in her home, near her home. Was it 1 mile away, 1.5 miles away, 5 miles away? I've heard all of those things, but apparently there's glove here. The search area was here. Nancy's home's here. And then Annie's is somewhere over here in this direction. There are likely 2 reasons they canvassed that specific area. The FBI supervisory special agent said, first, it represents one of the most logical routes in and out to access Nancy's home. But second, there may be digital evidence that prompted investigators to focus there. Now, we need to be cautious here because we don't know if the gloves that were recovered are actually even connected to this case. But if they are, that's a significant development. PAC said more canvasses can be expected as the investigation into the vanishing continues. Expect investigators to set up new canvasses expanding outward from that location, looking for additional cameras along the route from businesses, from homes, anything that may have captured movement. They'll be expanding the timeline backwards, looking at the hours before and after she went missing. Oh, excuse me. The goal is to build a trail. Okay, there's the individual. Okay, here's the disappearance timeline as we understand it right now. January 31st, between 9:30 and 9:45 p.m., the family drops Nancy off at home. 9:50, the garage door closes, according to authorities. February 1st, 1:47 in the morning, the doorbell camera disconnects. And then after the camera disconnects, it still somehow detects motion. So I don't know if it's a doorbell camera or the security camera are the same. They're different. But then about less than, like 10, 12, 22, like less than 20 minutes later, after the security camera detected motion, the pacemaker disconnected from the phone app. Family checks on Nancy 11:56 a.m. the next day, and less than 10 minutes later, they call 911, and 12:15, the sheriff deputies arrive at the home. That's our current understanding of the timeline as we know it right now. And a former FBI guy telling us his theory. Now, there's also this tattoo theory developing. I don't know how much I buy it so far because it is very blurry. You really can't exactly tell, but I thought it was compelling enough to show y'all. There may be some type of a cross tattoo on the wrist. This is a kind of AI colorized. So always take that with a grain of salt because stuff gets filled in, and then they just have an example of a tattoo of a Coptic cross on the wrist. Could be. I mean, like I said, I thought it was compelling enough to show y'all. Okay. JLR did a scream test. Okay. Womp womp. Okay, JLR did a scream test. I just thought this was funny. I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like, okay, we're not going to get any news. Breaking 7 hours ago. JLR investigates conducted a full scream test on Annie Guthrie Street. Neighbors immediately responded, confirming the area has excellent scream to ear coverage. JLR said, I did a scream test on the road behind Annie and Tommaso's home. The neighbor behind their house heard me and responded. Ooh, Lord help me. All right, let's see. Now I want to get into another section of this video called The Public is Speculating. Amy Lee said that 2-minute garage door opening and closing when she was driven home is still bothering me. She had trouble walking and she had a cane. I cannot see her getting out of the car and going inside her house in 2 minutes. Something ain't right about that. Jules said also the Adult Protective Services card on the door is suspicious, but my son even clocked that garage door as creating more questions. Bothers me too. Somebody else said, I'm bothered by the Uber to dinner and game night. 4 miles away, an 84-year-old mother doesn't Uber for that. A mom will Uber to her child to confront them about something or attempt to diffuse conflict. That part makes no sense to me. Who would just drop off an 84-year-old without walking her into safety? And look, people are speculating. I don't think she ever went home. Nicole said, I think that garage door opening and closing is all part of the lies. What about the blood on the front doorstep? Could that have been a random nosebleed from the day before? People on blood thinners get nosebleeds often. I think the daughter Annie and the son-in-law, who were nowhere to be seen now, did the crime. It's a cover-up case now. Someone said, and she didn't drive, so why did she go in through the garage? These are all excellent questions that are being brought up now by the public. And this granny, shout out to her. This is me in just a few years. She got a lot of good points. I'm going to show y'all.
A little bit so I can go play with my mulch and my little kitty that I've been feeding for years, a stray cat finally came back. Yay. Anyway, so I'm sitting here thinking that Mrs. Guthrie has been missing for 10 days. And this whole case is so suspicious to me.
Me too.
And I feel like between you and I, we could have probably solved this like 5 days ago now. First of all, let's go back to the beginning.
Let's go back.
Ubers to her daughter's house.
Ubers.
She's 84 years old with limited mobility. She lives 4 minutes away from her daughter's house. And they let her Uber? That's suspicious to me right there. Number two, They drive her home at 9:48.
That's
And
late.
open the garage door for 2 minutes. The woman has, if an 84-year-old with limited mobility has to get out of the car and walk in through the garage, I think it would take more than 2 minutes. And
I agree.
Who had access to the garage door? And anyway, so she walks in 2 minutes. It takes her 2 minutes to get from the car inside the garage door. I don't, something fishy with that.
That's
right?
fast. She's
and
moving.
Then at 1:48 or so, and I might have the minutes wrong, but at 1:48, somebody removes the door ring bell camera. Okay. But then at 2:41 or 2:21, half hour later, there's movement. So how is there movement on the camera if they have already removed it? Is it just me? Okay. So now she's gone, and she left her phone, her cane, her medicine, everything else behind, but there's blood at the front door. Well, I believe that whoever took her forcefully or injured. But why not take all her things? And then a half hour later, her heart monitor stops working. Okay, so is the heart monitor not hooked up to someone like a daughter, a doctor, an app somewhere?
The
that somebody
pacemaker.
can, say, oh, hey, my mom, her heart monitor just stopped. Maybe I should check in on her. No, nobody does that. The following day, when she doesn't show up to a at-home church service at her friend's house, the friend calls the daughter. So the question is, does she normally go to her friend's house on Sunday? Does she take an Uber? Does she drive? Does she get picked up? No answers. No answers there. Okay. And then today, 12 days later, they are just now taking DNA from the houses.
Why?
So now the police have been in, the FBI have been in, people have been in and out, reporters have been in, 100 people have been traipsing through the house, and they're just now, 10 days later, finding DNA. And well, I'm sure that DNA belongs to somebody that's been in there, but not the perpetrators. Okay, let's move on. So
let's move on.
They get a ransom note, and the daughter, who's a gazillionaire, doesn't offer any of her own money.
Someone just said, ma'am, the pacemaker is hooked to her personal devices, not her daughters and her grandkids and everybody. Somebody just said, my mom has a pacemaker and the company calls me when it gets disconnected. So yeah, ma'am, they really do be doing that. Just try to keep up. You don't know, you shouldn't say it.
She doesn't, she's got $40 million, and she doesn't say, you know what, I'm going to put up $1 million for anyone to return my mother. No, she doesn't do that. The FBI posts a $2,500 bail at first. $2,500. I mean, most people would give that for their dog. And secondly, another $50,000, which I think the FBI posted also. I didn't hear Savannah Guthrie say, I will take some of my $40 million.
She's calling Savannah right out.
Bail or, a reward for my mother. All suspicious, very suspicious.
Agreed.
Anyway, is it me or?
No, it's not you, girl. We see it. We see it, girl. Thank you so much to Jenny for the $2 super chat. Like the video. Yes. Please. Thank you. Mallory, thank you for the $2 Canadian. What's your email? Are you talking to News 18 or talking to me? My email is thatsurprisewitness@gmail.com. Thank you for the $2 Canadian. Thank you for the $5 Canadian. Sent email, popped up in shorts. Don't know if validity, but important if true. I will check it out. Thank you so much for that. Super chat. Okay, Brianna said, as she should. I think Savannah knows exactly what TF happened and knows where she is. Sorry. What if it's Savannah? What if those eyebrows are Savannah? No, I'm just kidding. Go, Granny, go. I know. I like that, Granny. Granny is throwing maximum shade. I know she is. I like her. She's like, anyway, I got to go feed my cats. Bye. Peace. Okay, this is another guy speculating and giving some examples from previous crimes. He said, food for thought. In the pursuit of the masked intruder in the Nancy Guthrie abduction, based on the behavior and the attire of the masked intruder, it is reasonable to inquire into recent applicants for law enforcement agencies in the Tucson and Pima County area, as well as students in criminal justice and law enforcement classes at local community colleges. The masked intruder may have seemed inept in a number of ways, but he did utilize materials and attire to mask his identity, his clothing, his shoes, and his fingerprints. He also possessed a semi-automatic weapon. He also is aware how technology works. He made sure he left very few clues or evidence as to his identity and motive. He may have recently applied to become a police officer, a sheriff's deputy, or a security guard. There have been a number of serious criminal cases involving law enforcement officers, applicants to police departments, and enlisted military police service members. Good to know. The most recent example is Brian Koberger. Koberger murdered 4 University of Idaho students. He was also a recent police agency applicant and teaching assistant for undergraduate criminology classes. His plan was to become a criminal investigation detective where he could investigate the crime scenes where he had murdered people on his way to becoming a serial killer. Another example is Joseph James D'Angelo Jr., also known as the Golden State Killer. Beginning in August 1968, D'Angelo attended Sierra College in Rocklin, California. He graduated with an associate's degree in police science with honors. He attended Sacramento State University in 1971, where he earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. D'Angelo later took postgraduate courses and further police training at the College of Sequoias in Visalia. Then he completed a 32-week police internship at the department in Roseville. From May 1973 to 76, he was a burglary unit police officer in Exeter, having relocated from Citrus Heights. Then he served in Auburn from August 76 to July 79, and then he was finally arrested for shoplifting a hammer and dog repellent. What the hell is dog repellent? He was sentenced to 6 months of probation and fired that October, but during the process of being fired, he threatened to kill the chief of police and allegedly stalked the police chief's house. He committed 13 murmurs and numerous R-words and burglaries across California between 1974 and 1986. The crimes began in Northern California, where he committed a minimum of 120 burglaries and 1 murmur in the San Joaquin Valley before moving to Sacramento County, where he committed at least 51 Rs and 2 more murders from 76 to 79. In Southern California, he murdered at least 10 people from 1979 until 86 before going dormant. A third example, Marvin Lee Irvin. He's an American serial killer and former police officer who murdered 2 women in St. Joseph, Missouri in September and October 1990. And after his arrest, he confessed to an additional murder in 1979, which up to that point, he had been the prime suspect for years. For all 3 crimes, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to life without parole. Very, very interesting. Just interesting things to keep up with. I like, learning and hearing about the past. Let me get to my next line item here. A possible second suspect, I think. Let me see. Oh, no, not a suspect. I don't know if this is anything to do with anything, but this is supposedly, they do want to ask this guy some questions. It says the FBI and sheriff's office seeking to question this man with a backpack who was captured on video just miles from Nancy's home. A source familiar with the investigation tells Fox News Digital. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this has sound or not. Exact location him provide. Okay, so this is the guy. They want to meet with him and they want to ask him some questions. This was uploaded to the neighborhood camera app around February 1st. Let me slow it down. Let me slow the video speed to half speed, maybe. It's only 49 seconds long, so that way we can get a good look. He does have 2 backpacks. Somebody said JLR posted earlier that they cleared him. This backpack looks more like the backpack than that one that the FBI was trying to say is the backpack. Okay. People are saying this looks like the guy, but somebody said JLR posted that they did question this guy and clear him. But I mean, I could see why this looks kind of, suspicious. I don't know. It's not really, I don't know what this guy has to do with anything, but I saw the FBI asking to question this man. This was 4/17, 4 hours ago. So I don't know if he has been cleared or not. But I did want to show y'all that one because the FBI was looking to ask him some questions. Now, this is more along the lines of the if they find a third glove, I'm done. Sheriff Harvey Levin gives us a daily update on the investigation. At this point, maybe TMZ should be in charge of the investigation. It can't get any worse. Womp womp. I thought that was a funny joke. People are getting a little frustrated and aggravated, dare I say. To those getting angry for asking questions about the handling of the Guthrie investigation, won't you try to answer them? Why was Mark Kelly called first? Why does the sheriff act and sound like he could give a beep? Why was the FBI intentionally blocked by the sheriff? Both are ignorant morons. The sheriff could give a beep. He'd rather be at a basketball game. He's acting like he knew there was nothing to solve. So people are getting frustrated out here. They are getting frustrated. Okay, and here's some more investigation or some more speculation about that white tent. Forensic teams often use specialized light sources such as ALS, blue light, UV, and infrared light to locate blood traces, wiped or diluted stains, footwear impressions, fibers, or other bodily fluids. A darker, shaded environment helps those tools work properly because direct sunlight can wash out the fluorescence or the contrast that the tests rely on. So that could have been one of the reasons for the tent today. Could be. Okay, so now I have a few more line items from that surprise witness private tip line. Okay. Savannah hired a private investigator, but then that turned out to not be true. As of the morning of this morning, no known suspects. But law enforcement is asking people to look out for a man 5'9" to 5'10", dark hair. Eric O'Neill, former FBI, Next Gen Identification, used this software to get biometrics on the man. It stores, so Next Gen is FBI's biometric identification system. It replaces the old fingerprint system. It stores fingerprints, but also palm prints, pupil circumference, facial recognition, identifying marks. FBI also uses a program that can compare to driver's licenses, photos, mugshots, passport photos. There's a very good possibility that voice, if the Ring or the Nest camera was able to get the video recovered, it's a very likely chance that they are going to be able to get some audio as well, because most Nest cameras do record voice as well, but maybe they will, maybe they won't. Nancy Guthrie search. The FBI did confirm multiple persons of interest. The glove that was found is an unusual glove, usually used for dealing in chemicals, refrigeration. Mike Gold, a retired NYPD officer, said to Fox, "This is not a common glove. It's kind of an unusual glove." Now, I also heard people saying this morning, these experts, that this is a totally run-of-the-mill glove you can get at the Home Depot. So take it with a grain of salt. Why wasn't the video available right away? They say it's because they had to, fish it out of the Google. They did probably have to get warrants and stuff. Kidnap insurance is very common. Could hint to why some people who were in and out of the ransom insurance people knew, reported, immediately said, yeah, that's something I hadn't really heard about. There is kidnap insurance. I don't know if y'all knew that. TMZ received another email today. There are some questions remaining. Was forced entry involved? We've had some mixed messages. Is anyone close to Nancy Guthrie into Bitcoin? This is something the private tip line is wondering. What caused people to speculate Tommaso from the beginning? Why'd he all out of nowhere? It was Ashley Banfield. It was Ashley Banfield. What time did Tommaso get back home after dropping Nancy off? Would be good to know. Reporting of a homeless community close to Nancy's house. News said Nancy only drove in the daytime. That could be why she Ubered to Annie's so they could bring her home later. It was dark. The dog in the pictures with Nancy and the family did not belong to her. It belonged to Savannah. So there would have been a dog at the scene in the house. There would have been no dog at the scene. At the beginning of the disappearance, the sheriff said that there were things at the crime scene that indicated she did not leave on her own. I wonder what that could mean other than the blood. The white tent, still not known who called that Uber for Nancy. Still don't know exactly who called 911, if anyone. Curious of the recent Uber rides for Nancy. How frequent did she take Ubers and how and where to? Email letters are well written according to Harvey, so it's maybe a sophisticated person, educated, not sophisticated, educated. Supposedly Nancy had electrical work done back in January, perhaps an association, maybe not. I do have some kidnapping insurance. Did you know that this was a thing? Global kidnap. So I'll just show y'all the thing I'm reading from. This was from the private tip line. This is not facts. This is just notes somebody sent me. Did you know this was a thing? Kidnap insurance. Kidnap and ransom insurance, market size, share, growth analysis by component. The global kidnap ransom insurance market is valued over $2 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach $4.7 billion by 10 years from now, or 9 years, 8 years from now, expanding at a CAGR of 7.3 during the forecast period. The market growth is primarily driven by increasing global security risks, political instability, and the rising number of high net worth individuals and expatriates operating in regions with elevated threat levels. North America accounted for 42% of the global kidnapping insurance share, a market size of almost $1 billion. This growth is supported by increasing demand from the financial, energy, and travel sectors, as well as the inclusion of crisis response, consultancy, and digital extortion coverage in modern K&R policies. K&R policy means kidnap and ransom policy. You can get an insurance policy for this. The market evolution reflects a shift toward holistic protection strategies, combining insurance with proactive risk mitigation. Okay, that's weird. That is very strange indeed. High value kidnapping for ransom. The private tip line sent me a part 2. Alien abduction insurance coverage, girl. Just say no, I have insurance if you're getting kidnapped. Okay. Kidnapping part 2, high value kidnapping for ransom. High value kidnapping for ransom is a crime in which a person of significant personal wealth or status is significantly targeted and kidnapped for a sizable ransom. This reminds me of the first episode of Black Mirror ever with that pig. These complex kidnappings are often led by professional criminals and carried out by personnel chosen for the specialized skills such as drivers, gunmen, and surveillance specialists. Professional criminals prefer high-value kidnappings. over express and virtual kidnappings. What's a virtual kidnapping, girl? Often carried out by less proficient. Some criminals also like the challenge of pulling off a dangerous, high-value kidnapping. Unlike an armored car heist or bank robbery, kidnappings are rarely reported to the authorities in many countries. Well, this one got reported. Kidnapping gangs typically follow an attack style, much like the one illustrated here. Oh my God, we got the attack style. Target identification and selection, planning and preparation, weapons acquisition, deployment, attack, escape, unalive self or survive, and then exploitation. During the target identification and selection phase of the attack cycle, the kidnappers will often look at several potential targets and then conduct extensive online research and use physical surveillance to determine the target's assets, behavioral patterns, security measures, and vulnerabilities. The criminal planners then use the results of their research to select a target they believe is both vulnerable and likely to produce a ransom worth the effort. Oh my God. I'm going to have to read the rest of that later because I still have a lot to get to and I'm getting tired. It's close to my bedtime, but that was good. That was good information. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that stuff. Okay, so now let's go through all the daily updates that have come through today. We're going to start here on CNN.com. I'm going to scroll. Okay, not 16 hours, girl. Oh, hold on. What we know about the glove? Nothing. It had just been discarded on the side of the road. Okay. And investigators are not as far as this one former FBI assistant thought they were. He told Laura Coates today, the fact the investigators detained a man and let him go gives him pause. Oh, Lord, it's bumbling. Residents near Guthrie's home asked to check camera footage from 2 days in January. Okay, this is interesting right here. Okay, this is actually very interesting. This is why I wanted to go by the day-by-day the moment-by-moment updates throughout the day. Because at first, it was being reported that the deputies were looking for, that the sheriff was looking for specific 2 specific days in January. Okay, this is what it was being reported 16 hours ago. Residents, investigators are looking for footage from January 11th between 9 and midnight, and from the 31st between 9 in the morning and 11 in the morning. That's what the outlets were reporting. Reportedly, there was a suspicious vehicle seen around 10 in the morning on January 31st. KVOA reporter Jacob Brown posted on X that Ring users in the area were getting an alert requesting the footage in regard to an investigation. The reports come from KVOA and KOLD don't include a description of the vehicle in question, but they do say that it was seen on Via Entrada Road near Guthrie's home in the foothills. So they don't say what vehicle you're looking for, but they just give you 2 specific days and then ask for the footage. They don't tell you which vehicle. CNN has reached out to Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI and Ring for more information. A resident of the foothills told CNN he was aware of some neighbors being asked for their Ring footage. On Wednesday, numerous FBI agents were seen conducting an extensive search along the roads. Guthrie was dropped off at her home on the 31st and reported missing the next day. Arizona investigators say they received more than 18,000 tips. The FBI searched the area around Nancy's home in Tucson yesterday. Tips are flooding in as the search for Nancy continues. Neighbors are asked to check camera footage from 2 days in January. See, again, they're saying January 11th and January 31st, but then they would come out and then change that to just the whole month of January. They just want the whole month. A white tent went up. Oh, look, here's some pictures. They taking it in, boys. Okay. They posted the video of Nancy. Investigators likely searching for patchwork of video evidence. Ex-Secret Service agent says Jonathan Wackrow, a former Secret Service agent under Obama, told CNN's Wolf Blitzer that the latest request for neighbors to review their surveillance footage could lead to a real break in the case. He's now a security consultant, said that the specific dates noted in the request signal that investigators have reason to believe that something relevant happened on that day. And that's why I think they then expanded it. They went from saying those 2 days to the whole month. Law enforcement might be looking to see if someone surveilled her home prior to the kidnapping, or if someone was boundary probing by testing to see if there were restrictions to entering the property. They're trying to see, was there a person there before the attack? But he added, any footage shared by neighbors is not likely to be a smoking gun. We may see a sliver of a vehicle in one. They can tie to another video. This is going to be a patchwork of video evidence. But he added the request alone can indicate the investigation is moving forward and becoming more precise. Bring her home. See what I mean? The PR. Somebody is on the PR, okay? Bring her home banner. And two of the videos, the Guthrie family videos, are called Bring Her Home, by the way. Hung outside Savannah's former news station in Tucson. So Savannah Guthrie used to work at this news station. That's cute. Tucson news station where Savannah Guthrie had one of her early journalism jobs has hung a banner that says Bring Her Home. Today's News 4 Tucson decided to hang this banner outside of our station to share our own words of support in the effort to bring Nancy home. We invite you to join us by coming and leaving your own supportive thoughts on it for Nancy. So come right on the sign. They want you to come right on it. CNN spoke with a local woman who stopped by to sign the banner and leave her words of support. You see what I mean? The PR. I just think it's really important that the family knows that we support them. And this is the exact same thing. Yesterday, there was a message sent out to the neighbors to bring flowers to the Nancy Memorial, or to the Nancy, whatever it is, where all the flowers are, but to bring yellow ones. And today, all day, the yellow flowers were getting delivered. But there was like this little teenage girl out there last night, and she was like, yeah, one of the neighbors told us to bring yellow ones. So I guess we just came down here and brought them. It's coordinated. And yesterday, when somebody was doing an interview, this is exactly what they said. We want the family to know that we support them. And here we are again today at the Nancy Bring Her Home sign on the news station. I want them to know that they're not alone. We support them, not lose hope, not lose faith. Certainly hope they find her and find some resolution to this, no matter what the outcome is. Agreed. I do hope so as well. Investigators expand request for the neighbor's home surveillance video footage. Yeah, they made it a little too obvious which days they were looking for, so they expanded. Even well-planned offenders make mistakes. Former FBI profiler says that she might have been the one that did it. She might have did it. Investigators looking into a white van. Breaking news alert, 6.5 hours ago. Investigators are looking for a white van as one of the many tips into the Guthrie disappearance. So into a white van, not for. Investigators have gotten a number of leads in the Guthrie case since she went missing. At least one of them involves a white van. Law enforcement officials with knowledge of the case told CNN. The officials cautioned, though, that this is one of many unconfirmed tips. Authorities are still working their way through. TMZ says it received a second note. We already read that. The one Bitcoin. FBI could use multiple methods to analyze DNA found on the glove. Yeah, well, they can't have that glove because the sheriff ain't giving it to them. Womp womp. Rain expected over Tucson Friday. That's tomorrow, potentially threatening evidence collection. Winter weather system is expected to bring showers to Tucson and southwest Arizona tomorrow, according to the National Weather Service's Tucson office. This could raise issues for law enforcement in their search for evidence related to the disappearance of Nancy. About 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of rain is predicted in Tucson, with the potential for thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening, the National Weather Service said. Outdoor crime scenes are already at risk for loss, contamination, and deleterious change of physical evidence in a relatively short period of time. And environmental conditions like rain, snow, or wind can exacerbate the issue, according to the National Institute of Justice, the weather experts. Officials seek neighborhood footage from 2-mile radius 12 days into Nancy Guthrie search. Yeah, they just decided to ask for this footage. Why they didn't ask for that on the first freaking day? It's like they're not really trying to find her. 2.5 hours ago, FBI releases description for the suspect. Technology used to determine suspect's height is extremely accurate, FBI assistant director says. So he's 5'9" to 5'10". White tint used to create nighttime testing conditions. Another speculation of the tent here. White tent erected by federal agents at the home of Nancy Guthrie on today was part of a testing procedure to create a nighttime condition, similar to the time of day the 84-year-old went missing. Once FBI specialists set up the tent to create a blackout environment, replica clothing and a backpack similar to what the suspect was believed to be wearing were examined through the lens of what a doorbell camera might see at night. Okay, cool. The source said examiners looked at the reflections of lighting against the items to ensure they were confident in their brand names. Okay, well, I want to see that because from where I'm looking, it don't look like the same backpack. But maybe if I saw it through that lens like that. On Thursday, they also used a specialized equipment to analyze the front of the home where the suspect was seen on video in order to determine his height. Yep, that's what we thought, or I thought, resulting in the FBI assessing him to be 5'9" to 5'10". Officials likely probing if suspect went to nearby houses. Investigators have to rule out the suspect in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie didn't go to a neighbor's house first in the days and weeks leading up to the incident. Officials have asked people in the community to check their cameras. Okay, let's go to the New York Times. That was CNN. Investigators set up this was 12:26 p.m., small white tent, apparently to shield themselves from the news media or the sun while carrying out some kind of work related to the investigation. Investigators seek help from the public in the search. There's our girl again. There she is. They got her out here doing her job. Investigators seeking clues in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie have found several items, including gloves, while scouring the foothills around Nancy's home of Tucson, Arizona. And the Pima County Sheriff's Department says this in a new update. Doorbell camera footage from Guthrie's porch on the night of her disappearance shows a masked person at her front door wearing gloves. The Pima County Sheriff's Department is asking neighbors to provide video footage, anything strange. They really think this is the backpack. The FBI said it's received 13,000 tips from the public. Okay. Now, NBC News. This is old. Okay, here we are. This one's from today. 54 minutes ago, everybody. Man seen in security video near gate of Tucson home is cleared in the Guthrie disappearance, officials said. Law enforcement officials have cleared that man who was seen near the gate of a Tucson home in a security video from the night Guthrie disappeared. The video, which was shared on the neighborhood app and circulated online, shows a man in a gray hooded top, jeans, and two backpacks near the gate of a home at 1:52 a.m. That home is 4 miles from Guthrie's home. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said it is aware of the video and was looking at all investigative leads. It did not say in any way it is connected to Guthrie's case. Okay, so let me just scroll down. It's not yet clear how the FBI collected the video from the Nest camera. Officials are still looking for clues. Where's Nancy? The case baffles ex-FBI agents, and here they are having their photo op, bring her home, well-wishers. I will tell you one thing I noticed, the people that come to do PR always have black, they always have similar, someone like uniform. Sounds like a uniform. It actually kind of looks like this, like these people are wearing in this picture. It's interesting. Okay, speaking of PR, they did put out videos of Nancy. Okay, it was not immediately clear who set the tent up. We know about the tent. Internet-connected doorbells promise security, but raise privacy concerns indeed. Okay, we got an exclusive from NBC. Guthrie's neighbor says detectives have asked him about a truck. Okay, y'all. This is 9 hours ago. David Romano said he lives around the corner from Nancy. Said detectives have come to his house twice and asked if he had a truck. Romano said he does not drive a truck. but that investigators seem to be looking for someone who does. He did not mention what kind of truck he had or why officials had asked his family twice. He said he didn't have a truck. Large media presence outside the Guthrie home as investigation stretches into 12th day. Gloves found at Guthrie house. At Guthrie residence. Gloves found at the residence, according to the sheriff's department. Several items of evidence were found at the residence, but he provided no details beyond the gloves. The news comes after multiple reports that a nylon glove was found. A nylon glove. What is a nylon glove? Let me look that up. Thank you so much to J. Elizabeth for the $3.99 super sticker. What is a nylon? Is that like a gardening glove? Oh, it's like these. It's like regular nitrile. Is that the same thing? This is a nylon glove. You know what this reminds me of? Dumb Dumb Dummies Black Mirror episode. Regular people, ordinary people, whatever that thing was called. Put a 9 in the chat if you had the unfortunate experience of seeing that episode. Thank you to Brianna for the $4.99. Stubborn parent pressured by adult kids to go to a senior home and take over the estate. Parent says she can take care of herself, goes missing. I'm starting to feel like something like that could be possible. Thanks so much for the $4.99. Super chat. Okay. Closing some of these tabs so that it can not be so glitchy. The news comes after multiple reports a nylon glove was found at the home. Pictures and videos released earlier this week by the FBI that include a possible subject and why would they leave the glove there in her house? That would be so stupid. Sheriff's Department collecting video. Okay, from the neighbors. They say no news briefings are scheduled. Who does that these days? What we know about her health. Day 12 of search. What we learned today. FBI released photos and videos of the potential subject yesterday. The images show a person wearing a mask. The video was recovered from the residual data from the camera. FBI zeroes in on details about the suspect's height and backpack. The FBI also announced it's going to be increasing its reward. The FBI tent went up and then back down. But why? The Operational Technology Division may have been taking precise measurements of the previous location of the doorbell camera and other fixed points in the archway or the entryway. Armed with the knowledge of the camera angle and other fixed points on the porch, as well as some math, investigators would be able to determine the height of the person they're now describing as a suspect. In a statement tonight, they did say the man was 5'9" to 5'10". The guy who sent the fake ransom note appeared in court today. He got let out. He made his initial appearance in federal court in Tucson today. He's charged with transmitting a demand for ransom in interstate commerce and using telecommunications device with intent to abuse, threaten, or harass a person. Prosecutors citing the criminal complaint allege that he sent demands in the form of 2 text messages to Savannah Guthrie's family on February 4th and made a 9-second phone call to a family member. He was released before trial. His conditions of release are the same as those that were agreed upon by a judge in Los Angeles last week, which include device monitoring and limited travel only from California to Arizona. He's not allowed to contact potential witnesses or victims. The man seen in the security video was cleared. Okay, got updates from Yahoo News. Rain forecast is going to complicate things. Photos, the hunt for evidence. Look at these. These are cool pictures. No press briefings scheduled. Investigators have recovered several items of evidence, including gloves. Things are crazy out here. Thanks so much to Organic Soul Gumbo for the $1.99. Please do a reaction to Pam Bondi on the stand today. I can't. I'm trying to keep my cortisol down and she gets on my nerves. Thank you so much for the $1.99 though. Thank you, Connect the Dotties, becoming a new member. And thank you, Sleepy Tombs, becoming a new member. This is so funny. Oh my God, y'all are so funny. Kim said, what if he called the sister and brother-in-law to tell them the job is done, hung up, and then that money was for payment, asking for a friend? Well, that's interesting because The guy that's contacting TMZ or whoever it is, guy, girl, whoever it is, contacting TMZ said they tried to contact Annie and Charles Cameron, but not Savannah. It's like, why wouldn't you try to contact the famous one? Anyway, y'all, I'm like literally like about to fall asleep sitting up right here. I'm so tired. My brain is so zapped. I gotta go. But I'll be back either tomorrow or the next day to continue coverage here. Hopefully we get some news, we get some movement soon. If something happens tonight, y'all might have to either just learn about it from me at a later date or hear about it from Voice, because I got to get out of this makeup. I got to wash my hair. I got to wind down. Shout out to y'all for hanging in there with me this week. And shout out to all the journalists and the YouTubers with the boots on the ground over there. In the meantime, all that, love you, mean it. Okay, bye.